Hey there, 𝗖𝗵𝗵𝗴𝗲 with another installment of Capital Markets Investor Relations in 2 minutes or less. This is our third video in the discussion of Delta's first quarter 2025 guidance cut. And in this video, we're going to talk about why is Delta's guidance change such a big deal. And remember, on March 11th, Delta cut 50% at the midpoint for non-GAAP EPS. Big change, very significant surprise, and it was done off cycle, which led to a lot of volatility. And what I want to walk through in this video is the 5 components that public company executives should be aware of or take from this situation to make them better at their jobs as being public company executives. And the first key consideration is this idea of magnitude. The guidance cut was a large change because it was done 50% at the midpoint. Typically, you're not changing that much. It's going to be in pennies, maybe 5 cents, 10 cents at the most. This was almost a 40-cent reduction in guidance that's going to cause volatility and be a significant surprise. Number 2 is this idea of timing. When you reduce guidance outside of the traditional earnings call or analyst day, that comes as a significant surprise to investors. Most investors are expecting that you're not really going to change guidance at all throughout the year, ideally maybe once at the midpoint of the year. So the earlier on in the year that you're changing guidance, the more of a credibility hit you're going to take and the more volatility and uncertainty you're going to interject into your stock. Third, off cycle. This guidance reduction was done ahead of an investor conference appearance. And again, the problem is you want to do these things at the earnings quarter point or in an analyst day to reduce that volatility and upsetness around change. Fourth, the disclosure method was an issue here. Yes, they did Form 8K, which appeases the regulators and the SEC. The problem is that an SEC filing isn't going to get you the same dissemination as a press release. And when you do just an 8K or bury it in an SEC filing, a lot of times investors feel like you're hiding the news or making it difficult for them to figure out what is going on. If you do a press release, it gives you an opportunity to use the right presentation, present the right components, the right data, and communicate it in an optimal way to remove any confusion or doubt from the situation. Remember, this is a sensitive situation because it drives the valuation in your stock. And then fifth is the idea of consensus expectations. These are going to change significantly. And yes, we're only looking at the first quarter, but it's almost a guarantee that when Delta reports in April or May, they're going to reduce the rest of 2025 in some way or some form. So what are the key learnings here? And the first is this idea of timing. Off-cycle changes drive volatility. You want to be mindful about doing this. And a lot of times, if you get into off-cycle cadence, it's going to be hard to pull yourself out of. Number 2, the best practice is to do the Form 8K and a press release. It helps avoid making you look like you're hiding something and gets the best reach and communication for clarity's sake. And then third, guidance. Always be conservative and be mindful of that interplay of timing of when you're giving the guidance during the quarter and the confidence you have into the visibility of that guidance. If you're giving it at the beginning of the year, your confidence is probably lower or less than you would like, so be careful in terms of what you provide. Thanks for watching.